Are you going to show them how to make a sweater for me today? Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. Ooh. I'm going to show you what I do to make sweaters for these lovely little boys. And my kitty cat is going to help you. This is a Jig-G. Hello, Jig-G. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we're going to start with a doll. Because we are making sweaters for dolls. This little guy is an MSD. He's a with doll. But the nice thing about sweaters is it doesn't really matter that much which brand of doll you have, as long as it's a stretchy sweater. But I want to make one for this little dude because he's so cute. And I don't have any MSD sweaters right now. I have lots of SD sweaters, as you see here. But this guy would be absolutely swimming in that one. This is like Big Brother's sweater. Oh, senpai. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about knitting sweaters. Now, knitting sweaters is really great for smaller dolls. But if you go, like, yo size is about the smallest that I knit for. Because once you get into these little itty bitties, not only is it really difficult to find yarn that's small enough to make it a reasonable sweater, but it also looks a little weird. So she has a little crochet top on here. And if you want to learn how to crochet for your dollies, I will help you with that as well. Okay, anyway. She's my Lucky, and Lucky is going to sit over here and watch while we do everything. You can't see her. She's sitting on my PlayStation while my cat is destroying the world. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do, as you can see, I have different sweaters here. These are SD size sweaters. I have a couple of SDs, and this is a regular SD size, and then this is an oversized chunky SD. For super chunky boy. That's actually the back. There's the front. These are all cable knit, as you see. I'm going to show you how to make a regular one. We don't need a cable knit for this little beauty. He's going to have a regular one. And then this, is from a big boy. It's covered in cat hair. Okay, so this one is for Apple House EID size. And he's massive. So, as you see, he's also ripped. Okay, he is very big boy, so we need a big sweater. And I can actually use worsted weight yarn on this. Regular size yarn. Regular scale yarn. It's pretty cool. But you already have a sweater, so we're going to go, put you away on the sofa behind me. And then I'm going to show you how to measure your doll for a sweater. This is how I always start. Because if we don't know the size, we will not be able to make a sweater for him. Okay. First, we got to get you naked, boy. I know. Naked dolls. Well, that's how you came into the world. And so that's what we're going to do. Oh no, my little with doll hand came off. It's okay. Boom. Back on. Yeah, that's, by the way, one of the coolest things about with doll is the hands come off very easily. Alright, okay. Probably don't need to remove everything, especially for all audiences. So, what I'm going to do is use my tape measure here, and we're going to measure him to see our dimensions. You need to do two things. First of all, you're going to measure. And second of all, you're going to draw. Now, I know some of you are like, but I can't even draw a stick figure. It doesn't matter. You can do this. Scrap paper. Doesn't matter what it is. There's a watercolor thingy that I did on it. All right. Scrap paper. We are going to measure and write down our measurements. And we're going to draw out the way you want the sweater to look. Now, dollies have disproportionately very long arms. It is really important that you measure this. And there are a few measurements that you need to know. And once you get those down, I'll show you how to pattern them. Okay, tape measure. I will be measuring in centimeters because I am in Korea. And that's what we do over here. The other thing is centimeters gives us more precise measurements, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I need a pencil or a pen or something like that. Okay. It's okay. Avengers to the rescue. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we need to measure from the top of his shoulder. So we're going actually at the shoulder, you can see all the way up here, top of the shoulder, to where I want, how long I want the sweater. So I have it all the way down here, and I want him to have a long one that goes over the belt line. So we're going to go 13.5 centimeters. 13.5 centimeters. Yep. And that, eraser, eraser, eraser. Avengers to the rescue. Okay, and this is going to be our first measurement is our length. So this is the total sweater length. Total sweater length, 13.5 centimeters. The next one is I'm going in the fattest part of the body. Fattest part of the body. If you have female dolls and their boobies are out to here, you measure out to here. If you have female dolls and their boobies are out to here, you measure out to here. You just have to measure over the fattest part. Like I said, if you have a kitty and her ears are over to here, you have to measure over to here. Yes. Now go back to your little howdy hold. All right. So I'm going to go around the back, and we are going to measure around the fattest part of the chest. And here, as you see, it is 19 centimeters chest. Okay, we have 3 more measurements to do. We have to go from neck to wrist. And here I have 15 centimeters. Neck to wrist. And, all right, so all the sweaters have a place, as you can see here, where they're going to drop down. All right, and so what we need to do is we need to measure from the bottom, from the baseline here, up to where the sleeve is going to connect. Okay, the rest of it we can totally fudge, and I'm going to show you how to fudge it all, and you're going to have such a good time, like, because you can make big sweaters, little sweaters, but you can play around with the other measurements. But these are the ones you really need. So we're going to go here, and we don't want the sweater to be exactly under the arm. We want to give it a little bit of a space, a little bit of lee room, because it just looks really wrong with a super small sweater. So we're going to measure here, and remember I went under, so maybe like 10 centimeters. Okay, I'm just going to double check there. There's 13 and a half, and 7.5. Okay, so what do I want? How do I want this? So I'm going to subtract 5, 6. I'm going to stretch from 13 and a half, so that's 7 and a half. Let's see if 7 and a half is right. Yeah, 7 and a half. That's good. Okay. So now I have 7 and a half. 7.5 centimeters, and that is underarm to waist. Thank you very much, John. You can come over here. I'm not going to put your shirt back on, but you're going to be a little hobo boy with your little overalls. Alright. Go off and play in your little house on the prairie way, whatever you do. Okay, so here are the measurements that we have. And now remember I said you were going to draw, you're going to draw. What we need to do is figure out how this is going to be our body. I know, it's not a great drawing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is going to be our body, and we're going to put these in here. So if the sweater length is 13.5, that's right here. Now the chest, the chest is 19 centimeters. What we're going to do is divide that in half. I'm actually going to do 20 centimeters because you want a little bit of more space in the chest. So 20 centimeters, we're going to divide it in half. So that's 10 centimeters. And we're going to do plus 1. Why the plus 1? Well, the plus 1 is because you're going to need to sew it together on the sides. And you do want a little bit of room in there. Okay, so we have 11 centimeters across the bottom. So 11 centimeters. Then, so this is our base. The reason I drew it like this is because this neck hole is going to be in the front and the back is going to be straight across. Because you know what? Dolls don't care how it feels. Okay. Then we have a sleeve. And the sleeves look like this. Pretty fancy schmancy. Okay. So then the sleeve, neck to wrist, this is 15 centimeters. And the rest of it we're going to do with math. So we have 11 here across. We have up and down 13.5. We have in here is 7.5. We're getting some measurements in here. Ooh, how about that? Now, when you knit, you're going to be counting. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to use a... this is a 5mm needle, and I use the circular needles. They come in really handy a little bit later on when we're doing two sleeves on the same needle, because it's always better to do 2 sleeves at the same time so they're the same length. So we're going to do it on these needles, and when you do it, we're both measuring and counting. I am going to use DK weight yarn. Now, when we talk about yarn weight, worsted weight is like this. It's like regular sweater yarn. It's probably the most common in the United States. Certainly the most common for cats to play with. And then you go down in sizes, and DK is sort of the next step down. Sometimes when you see numbers of this, like a ball of yarn, and there's a number in the ball of yarn. Worsted is 4, DK is 3. And I'm using DK because it's a good size for dolls. And this is, I'm not going to plug any yarns, but I totally love Premier yarns. It's a high quality. Anyway, so you can see it's kind of a thinner yarn, but I'm using bigger needles, and that will come in because I want to do a chunky one. Boop, 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 boom. I can't do anything else because my cat is here. Right? Okay, end of this video, and we're going to start another one as soon as she decides that it's more important to go eat my basil plant than play with my things.